Let's get straight to the point. You clicked on this video because you want to master movement in Empulse. In this guide, I'll cover everything from the fundamentals all the way to the more advanced movement tech. The entire movement system in Empulse revolves around a single thing. That's building speed and maintaining it. You don't lose any speed while you're in the air, so you can keep your momentum. And same can be said for sliding, except after a while you start to slow down. So you wanna jump before that. So the way you move around the map will be just by slide hopping. If you run, you lose your speed. Like let's say I put some speed here and I start running, I'll slowly lose it. You see? Also, wall running slowly kills your speed, so you want to avoid wall running for extended time. As you can see, I slow down. One thing about sliding is that you don't actually become faster when you're sliding, you only keep your speed. So if you want to get momentum, you wanna go downhills, like let's say the slope here. If I slow down it, I'll gain speed and then I can maintain it forever. As long as I keep slide hopping, I'll never lose the speed. Unless I go like up a stair like this, then I'll lose the speed. When you're going up slopes, you want to use your jetpack to avoid slowing down. So how do you build speed? The most common ways are to use your mobility nades, like the speed paint or the jump paint, and going down slopes while sliding, like this. And then the third one is by wall hopping. Even though wall running makes you lose speed, if you bounce off the wall by instantly jumping when you hit it or get near it, you actually gain a burst of speed. To be as efficient with it as you can, you don't want to jump like this when you're facing the wall. You wanna face the direction you're going while jumping. So let's say I'm going that way. I don't wanna do it like this. And you can gain max speed basically just doing this. One thing about wall bouncing is that if you're using the jump paint, you can actually be faster than with the speed paint if you're bouncing off walls and building momentum that way. You just have to play near walls. So look at this. You can gain a lot of speed super fast. It's also possible to gain speed with the grapple, but it's not used that often. I'll go over it in the more advanced section, because it can be quite complicated. Generally you don't use it for momentum, because if you just hold it, you'll lose your speed, but I'll go over that in a minute. Let's talk about the paints. So the two movement paints are the jump paint and the speed paint. You won't always use these ones. The hill paint and the explosive paint are also very good, even though they don't give you movement capabilities. When it comes to using these, the speed paint can be used basically anywhere and anyhow. The most common way is to just throw it at your feet and then slide hop. That's how you gain an instant burst of movement speed. You can also use the while on walls to speed up and then get a better bounce and gain more speed that way, like this. And when it comes to the jump paint, if you're on an area of the map with a lot of walls, it can be better than the speed paint, but it's more tricky to use. Because if you just throw it down and jump, you're the easiest target ever. You're so slow in the air and it's just bad. But if you're bouncing off walls, you can gain a lot of speed. When it comes to using the jetpack, you mostly want to use it to go up surfaces to not slow you down, like that. And you don't want to hold it basically ever. Look how fast it depletes. It's like 1 second. But if you tap it, it's better. You can stay in there longer. I have the flutter perk here, so it regenerates while in the air. But if I don't have it, If I don't have the flutter perk and I use my jetpack, it won't regenerate until I touch the surface, like a wall. That's why being near walls is good, because I can just touch it and gain some speed and reset my jetpack. You can also grapple to reset it, like that. That's one way to use a grapple to reset your jetpack charge. And generally you wanna tap it, not hold it like that, but just tap it like this. And another thing is, you want to use your jetpack while looking at the direction where your speed is going. So if I'm going this way, I wanna look here while jetpacking, otherwise you'll lose your speed. Like if I start jetpacking like this, I lose my speed. Because it's kind of like a movement input. Let's get to the more advanced and niche techniques. These jump pads that are around basically every map help you get from like you usually use them when you're running out of spawn. If you just run out of them, you'll get a lot of momentum. But there's a better way to use them. So if you time your jump while going through them, you'll gain more momentum. Look at this. Significantly farther than if I don't jump. I think I just directly run into it and just press jump. Same goes to the ones that are on walls. You want to jump off from them. Like that's me not jumping. And this is me jumping. If you have a corner like this, it's easy to bounce between the sides to quickly go up. Like this. You can do it a lot more efficiently if you practice, but that can be done. And it's very hard to hit you if you're bouncing. You can also wall run while you're chasing backwards, so you can do that same bounce while looking directly at the opponents. You don't need to face the wall. You just need to build an intuition for it. Like if I'm to fight someone from here, my movement can be very hard to hit because I'm bouncing at a fast acceleration. Another thing is you can basically stall forever while you're on a wall if you just keep bouncing while holding backwards. It can be tricky to aim if you're on a mouse and keyboard because you have to hit A, S and D with specific intervals. So it's good to practice and get used to it. Now let's talk about the grapple. It's a bit odd to use. It doesn't really give you speed most of the time. If you just let it go out fully, you'll lose your speed actually most of the time. The best way to use the grapple is to basically correct your air movement. As if I'm going this corner is too tight, I can use it to make the tight corner easier. Because the aerial mobility isn't much, I can't really change my direction in the air. So you can use the grapple to make that better. Another way to use the grapple is if you're like stuck in the air after using your jetpack and you have low speed, you can grapple directly to the ground to pull yourself down faster. And you can do all sorts of tricks with it, but it's not really consistent, or it's difficult to know how it works all the time. It can work very differently depending on the situation and surface you're using it on. An important thing about the grapple is to have the setting of crouch cancelling it on. So that when you hit crouch it cancels the grapple. Because again, if you use the whole duration, it will usually ruin your speed. So if you hit crouch, it will cancel it. Like you can also press the grapple again to cancel it, but if you have two charges of it, it can be awkward. It can use it actually twice instead of cancelling. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They'll probably fix it at some point. If you want to gain speed with the grapple, you want to use it at high elevation so that it swings you forward, and you want to cancel it before it starts pulling you up. Like for example, if I use it here, I want to cancel it before it starts pulling me up, because that will ruin my speed. If I use it here, I want to cancel it early. Another thing about the grapple is that you can use your jetpack at the same time. For example, if I'm grappled on this and I start jetpacking, I can go over the object easily. So if you wanna go over something, I can use my grapple here and fly over. Another thing is you can grapple onto things and do all sorts of silly things. It's not really... You have to test out different places where it works and where it doesn't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's that you can grapple onto enemies and allies. If you grapple onto an enemy, you can one-shot them if you reach them. You don't need to press anything, it will automatically one-shot them. And if you grapple onto allies, you just follow them. It's a bit gimmicky, so it's not that... It doesn't come up that often, but grappling onto enemies can be pretty good if you're like running into someone close range. You can just panic tap it and instantly kill them. It's better than just meleeing, because melee deals half damage, while grapple one-shots, and it's basically the same thing, it's just easy to land. Now let's talk about the movement perks.
So,
the biggest trap is Flow Starter. It's not that good. It sounds great. It increases sprint speed and lets you run faster on walls and stuff, but you're not doing either of those usually. Like running is slower than slide hopping, and wall riding is slower than wall bouncing. So you're not doing either of those, so it's not that useful. Flutter is generally the best one, because it allows your jetpack to refuel faster, even while in the air. If you're playing far up in the air, you can get multiple refuels without touching a wall, so it's pretty good. I mean, I'd say it's the best movement perk. The other option, if you don't feel like you need Flutter, is Kill Refresh. It reduces your pain cooldown if you get kills. A kill, it will refresh both your grapple and your paint. So you get more movement options by having your paint up more often, and it also refreshes your ammo in your gun. That's bugged on the practice mode, so it doesn't show it, but in a real game it does give you 25% of your magazine back on kills. So I personally like it the most. One situation where Flow Starter is acceptable is if you're playing something slower like heal paint or explosive paint. Mostly heal paint. If you're like throwing it down and you're playing on foot a lot more, you can strafe a lot faster and dodge enemy shots. It's a lot more static of a playstyle. It's still good, but it's not like movement based. Like I said, just throwing down a heal paint and dodging enemy shots by strafing is actually better right now than doing fancy movement tricks. So it has its use, but it's not as sexy of a playstyle. To go over some practical tips. If you're playing, for example, upload, where you have to hold the orb, the objective, to capture it, you can, for example, play under here and it will be very hard for the enemies to kill you. If you're paying attention to audio cues, you can dodge them around. And also, if they want to kill you here, they'll have to go in the open where your team can shoot them easily. So you can do that. It's good to learn how to move in these tight spaces, because it can be quite awkward. If you fall into water, you just die straight up. Another thing that doesn't really apply to this map is if you're playing the capture the flag game mode, where you have to deliver the orb, you can go at the outsides of the map to not get shot. Or if the enemies want to chase you, they have to again go through open space where there are easy targets for your team. And that's really what you want to do, because you can't shoot back yourself. So you want to put the enemies in a bad position if they want to chase you. And it's really not that useful to go through like tricky paths, because the enemies can see you through the walls when you're holding the objective. So you want to make them sacrifice something if they chase you. And then another thing for capture, where you have the point that you have to capture, let's say it's like around here. Instead of, like if you're the first person of contact, if you're a movement player, you'd probably want to be. Instead of playing like back here, you want to like fly past them and then shoot, so your team, so they turn to look at you, and your teammates can shoot at their backs, cause they can look at both you and your teammates at the same time. And while they're looking at you, you want to just keep their attention but not die, so you don't like overcommit yet. And once they look away from you to your teammates, then you go and fight. And on defense, don't make the mistake of just sitting on the point with your pants down and hoping the enemies give you fair fights. It's better to sit in a spot where you can easily gain speed and swing on the enemies. Like if you're defending, I don't want to sit on the point where the enemies can easily just fly at me and I'm stuck on the ground looking silly. I'd rather sit on like here, and if the enemies go to the point, I can swing on them at a very fast speed and clear them. It will be a very favorable gunfight. That's about all for now. The game's still really new, so there's lots of tech that is constantly being found, and they probably just add more ways to move around in general in updates, so if you just learn these things, you'll be good for now.